Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some of the things that I found to be the worst parts about running a bar here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Let's check it out. First thing you really have to do is hire staff. And that's something you're going to have to do either if you're at a bar or cafe or whatever. And finding people to work for you is the hardest thing. If you've been following the channel, you know that we have a Ladybar. And that means that you're going to need a larger number of staff. You're going to need anywhere from 5 to 15 girls working there on a given night. Now, some of the bigger bars, and especially down in Pattaya, have even more than that. So it really depends. And that doesn't even include the managers, bartenders, or cashiers. So you really have a large staff. When you're first opening a bar, it's hard to find people to come work at your bar. And in the beginning, you're not going to be able to get a girl from another bar to come and work for you. Number one, we didn't really want to cause issues. We didn't want to try and poach girls away from other bars to come and work for us, because that could cause issues for us. So we really tried to stay away from that. Also, if they're already at a bar and they're making money, why are they going to come to a new bar that's not proven, has no real customer base yet, to actually make sure that they're going to make money? So it's really hard just to get organic staff to come and work for you. The main thing that we did to really get started was you can hire girls called promo girls. And they work not only in bars, but they work in Thai bars, conventions, whatever. And they'll work for 3-4 weeks at a time, and then they'll go somewhere else. And you pay them 500 baht a day. They'll have booked jobs months in advance all over the place. Now, this is a stopgap. Obviously, it's not the most beneficial thing, but it was a way for us to actually have people working for us so we could actually get customers in the door. And that leads me to the other thing, is manage them. If you are trying to manage them as a foreigner, if you are trying to run the bar yourself, be hands-on in your bar. Now, often that's not the best idea, but if that's something that you want to do, there's going to be coming complications with that. And obviously, the number one thing is a language barrier. Are you able to talk to your staff? Are you able to communicate? Now, obviously, it's very beneficial and almost mandatory to have somebody on your staff who can speak English. And that's not even if you can speak Thai. Now, especially have a bar in a foreigner-heavy area. Now, Loi Kua Road is largely for foreigners. Not a lot of Thai people go there. And now, if they're tourists, they're not going to know Thai. They're not here for long enough to learn Thai. Or even long-term expats often don't learn Thai. So it's really, really important to try to find somebody who can speak English. Now, if you have been in Thailand before, you do know that there are ways to get around the language barrier. Of course, there's Google Translate. But there's a lot of ways to communicate apart from just being able to speak a language. But that is obviously going to be an asset. Also, managing them, even if you can get past the language barrier, that only makes it more complicated because as a foreigner, you're not really allowed to hire staff. So you have to have somebody, and that's why I have my partner, and she deals with hiring all the staff we have at the bar. The last thing with staffing is having them work the right way. The simple things like showing up on time, not being on the phones all night, looking happy, dressing appropriately. You know, simple things that really help you run a bar successfully. You can't always be relying on somebody if they're going to show up that night. If you don't know if your staff is going to show up, it's really hard to run a business. Now that's obvious. The other big thing is how they interact with clients. You need people who come and work for you who form relationships with clients. Now, I don't mean romantically. I mean professionally. I mean that they have to be able to have customers that come see them on a regular basis. And now this is a way that a lot of the bars in the area maintain business during the slow season. We dropped right off, but that was kind of to be expected. As a new bar, we didn't have any really establishment at all. But also, the people we had working for us, like I said before, were temporary. So they'd work for a few weeks, and then they'd leave. And so even if they did form these relationships with customers, then they'd leave and go to a new bar, and that would cause issues. Either that person would never come back because they knew that girl was no longer working there, or they'd come in, see she wasn't working there, and go somewhere else. So this is obviously going to cause issues, but that's just something that we use as a growing pain to try to get to where we need to go, where we can have a full-time staff that's with us for the long term. The second thing is drinking. Now, obviously, when you're running a bar, you're going to be having to drink. If you have pre-existing problems with alcohol, then this is probably not the best idea. If not, you're still going to have issues because you're going to be around alcohol 24/7. Another big revenue stream for these type of bars, and that only compounds the issue of drinking, is that one of the ways that these bars make money is by customers buying staff members a drink. And these are called lady drinks. And that means the staff member gets a portion and the bar gets a portion. And obviously, if a customer comes in and wants to buy me a drink, I'm not going to say no. And if one of you have come in and bought me a drink, I really appreciate it. But that means that you're going to be drinking. If customers come in a lot to buy you a drink, you're going to be drinking a lot. Well, I know some owners, what they'll do is they'll have fake drinks that they'll drink that have zero alcohol to make sure that they're not getting drunk. So I've even heard of one guy who has a beer bottle that he'll have his staff fill with water and then recap. Not sure how he does that, but I know that is the method. Now, I didn't do any of that because I feel that if somebody wants to come in and spend the extra money on buying me a drink, the least I could do is drink with them. And another weird thing that is kind of different from the West, these bars, at least in this area, are very social. So it's really, a little community there where you know everybody. But with that comes an expectation that you're going to go and drink at their bar and then they'll come and drink at yours. And so that means that you have to go around quite a bit to the different bars in the area. It's funny, I have a friend who owns a bar just across from mine, and I would go over to her bar and drink, several times a week. And I actually had the bar that's right beside me confront me one day and get angry that I never came to her bar and drank. And after that, I did have to go to her bar a couple times, and then she would come to mine. And I had another bar in the area say something similar. So you kind of have an expectation to go around the area and buy drinks for the owners. And this is only probably exacerbated by the fact that I'm one of the youngest bar owners there, and obviously a foreigner. But this is not solely foreigners. My friend, like I was saying before, she's Thai, and she has a very successful bar. And what she does is she'll often go around and ring the bell, which is a literal bell that you ring, and you'll buy the full staff of drink. Now, she actually told me just before I got back that she spent around 100,000 baht just going around the area and buying drinks. But I never spent that much, luckily, but that is something that's kind of expected. Now, the third thing that was really the biggest issue is navigating the law and the regulations around actually owning a bar and running a bar here in Thailand. When I started the bar, I was kind of flying blind. I didn't have a lot of information, and I really had to rely on my business partner to guide me through the process, as well as YouTube. Now, I'm actually a part of something called Nomad School. Now, it's a free community where like-minded individuals, people who want to live and work abroad, join and can work together to help each other succeed. Now, the link is in the description below, and it's a free-to-join platform where you can come and chat, ask me questions, ask others questions, and there's really a lot of knowledge in there that can help you succeed, and if you want to do this, it would make it a lot easier. That being said, if you are wanting to open a bar, or how I open the bar anyways, I'm obviously a foreigner. You're going to stick out more than if you're somebody else. Everybody knew that I owned the bar. Everybody knew who I was. And you are very visible to the public. You really have to be on your best behavior and make sure you're doing everything properly. Kind of links back to what I was saying before about having to go around the area and buy others drinks. That's really beneficial because it really ingratiates you with the area and to show that you just don't want to come over and take over, but you want to be part of the community. So there also is dealing with the police. And that is a big thing down here. You have to really have a good relationship with the police. So the funny thing here, with where we're located, just across the river from the bar that I have is a hotel. And that's where actually the king's sister stays when she comes to Chiang Mai. And so last minute, many times, you'll have to shut down the bar for the day because she's here and you're not allowed to open. The laws change here quickly. And you might have to shut down at a moment's notice and not realize. And so it's really good to have a good relationship with the police and they can inform you what's going on. And lastly is licenses that you need. Obviously, like the business and the liquor license. These are things that are requirements to actually own and run a bar here in Thailand. I'll be going more into all this in detail in another video, but there are a lot of different things that you have to get in order before you can actually open. I hope that gave some more clarity on the whole situation and one of the things that I've really found to be the hardest parts about running the bar. There is a lot to know, but it is very manageable. It is a very doable thing to do, and I don't think it's something that the things I've pointed out, I don't think are things that really should inhibit you from wanting to do this. I have some links in the description below for affiliate products that I personally use to live here and run a business. And if you wanted to check them out, that'd be awesome.